Have you ever felt like you're speaking English straight out of a textbook, but the people around you are on a totally different page? Yeah, you're not alone. The English we actually use every day, when we're telling a story or just trying to buy a new TV, is packed with expressions you just won't find in a grammar book. And that's exactly the gap we're going to close today.
It's that feeling, right? You get all the individual words, but you can just tell you're missing something bigger. The real emotion, the inside joke, the cultural meaning behind it all. That is a huge hurdle for anyone learning a language, and it's exactly what we're going to help you clear. So here's our game plan for today. First, we are going to dive into the language of emotion so you can really express exactly how you feel. Then, we'll decode all that confusing tech jargon you run into when you're out shopping. After that, we'll get into some super common casual phrases that'll make your conversations flow so much better. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into a communication toolkit you can start using, well, right away.
Okay, let's kick things off with emotions. English has so many colorful, awesome words that go way beyond just happy or sad. We're going to look at a few phrases that paint a much clearer picture of what's going on inside your head, connecting your words to a real, genuine feeling.
Okay, picture this. You walk into a big, empty, maybe kind of cold concert hall, or you're right at the climax of an incredible movie. You might hear someone say this, or hey, even feel it yourself. But what does that actually mean? So, goosebumps are that physical thing that happens to your body when you feel a really strong emotion. The skin on your arms or the back of your neck gets these tiny little bumps. It's such a great term because it instantly tells someone you're feeling a powerful mix of excitement or maybe even fear without having to say, I am feeling very excited right now. All right, let's stay in that same big, empty building. But now the feeling's a little different. It's dark, it's a bit too quiet, and then you hear a weird noise from upstairs. You lean over to your friend and whisper this. You know, when something gives you the creeps, it's not just about being scared. It's a very specific kind of unease. That deeply uncomfortable, nervous feeling you get in the pit of your stomach. It's the difference between a loud jump scare in a horror movie and that slow, unsettling feeling that something just isn't right. And this shows you just how much your word choice matters. I mean, you could call someone a coward, which is a really heavy, serious accusation, but if you call them a scaredy cat, the whole tone changes, doesn't it? It's informal, it can be a little playful, and you hear it a lot with kids. Same basic idea, but a totally different emotional feeling. Okay, we've talked about the language of feeling. Now let's switch gears to another situation that can cause a totally different kind of uncomfortable feeling. The absolute confusion of technical jargon when you're just trying to buy some new electronics. Seriously, walking into an electronics store can be so overwhelming. You look at the back of a TV and you see this wall of acronyms and numbers that might as well be written in a different language. So what does it all mean? Let's break down a couple of the most common ones. You are going to see these ports on pretty much any device these days. And yeah, it looks like a confusing alphabet soup, but don't worry about memorizing the full names. The only thing that really matters is knowing what they do for you. The best thing about HDMI is just how simple it is. If you're old enough to remember plugging in those 3 separate red, yellow, and white cables just to hook up a video game console, you will really appreciate this. HDMI puts everything, crystal clear picture and sound, into one single, easy cable. It's a game changer. When you're shopping for an internet plan, you're going to see speeds listed like this. Here's the super simple rule. A bigger number is always better. And Mbps, that's megabits, is always way faster than kbps, or kilobits. Think of it like a highway. More megabits just means more lanes for all your data to travel on. And why does all that speed matter? Well, to avoid this. Lag. It's that super frustrating delay when your internet just can't keep up. You click something in an online game and your character moves a whole second later, or your video call freezes at the worst possible time. Faster speed means no more lag. All right, so we have navigated the worlds of deep feelings and confusing tech. Now for the really fun stuff, the everyday, casual phrases that bring conversations to life and really help you connect with people. So you found the perfect TV, you understand all the tech specs, and now you want to know the price. Of course, you can always say, how much does it cost? That works perfectly fine. But to sound a little more natural, a little more like a native speaker, you might ask this instead.
Asking how much something will set you back is a really common, informal way to talk about cost. The phrase kind of implies that the money is leaving your account and, setting you back a little from your savings goals. It's one of those small touches that makes your English sound really authentic.
So you ask the salesperson, how much will this set me back? And they tell you it's $100, but they probably won't actually say the word dollars.
Yep. In the US, you will almost always hear people use the slang term bucks instead of dollars. So that $100 just becomes $100. It's super common, everyday slang you'll hear everywhere, from a fancy store to a local coffee shop.
You're ready to buy? And to sweeten the deal, the salesperson might say this. And don't worry, they're not literally going to throw something at you. To throw in something just means to add it as a free little bonus to make the deal better. So if you buy a new phone, maybe they'll throw in a free case. It's a great phrase to listen for when you're shopping, because it means you're getting something extra for free.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. We've gone from the shivers of goosebumps to the speed of Mbps and paying for it all in bucks. So now let's pull all of these ideas together into a simple, practical toolkit that you can use in your very next English conversation.
Think of it like this. Step 1, go beyond the basic words. Use phrases like gives me the creeps to really show, not just tell, how you feel. Step 2, when you see that tech jargon like HDMI, ignore the complicated name and just focus on the benefit. What does it do for me? And step 3, start sprinkling in casual phrases like set me back to make your conversations feel more relaxed and natural. Look, mastering everyday English isn't about memorizing a bunch of rules. It's a journey of discovery and practice. So I want to leave you with this question. What's your biggest challenge right now? Is it the idioms, the tech talk, or maybe all the casual slang? Just pinpointing that challenge is your first step. Keep listening, keep practicing, and you will absolutely find your flow.